Hello, hello, hello. Oh, we have Julia and Grace in the room already. Hello, ladies. Ladies. How are ya? I've got a little one with me. See those eyes? Hi, baby. This is my sweetheart. He just had temptations, or as we like to call them around here, chookies. Because cats don't pronounce things like humans. They always have their special little twist. He's so cute. He's sphinxing out on a chair. I just think he likes my leather jacket, whose name is Bruce, because when you're raised by a nursery school teacher mother, you name everything. Isn't that right? Who's your sweetie, sweetie? Yeah, I'm good at mothering my cats. Hi, Karen. Hello, Karen. Hello, Karen. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation tonight. You know, usually I start these things knowing pretty much what I'm going to talk about. I've got some things I'm going to share here, but this is going to be a true seminar in the sense of a sharing of information on all sides. We're going to ask the question, what does it mean to father oneself? Because I could tell you how to mother myself like that. Hours we could talk. How do you father yourself? We'll get there. So save your replies. I literally have put it back because I'm taking notes. I will be taking notes tonight. He's just giving me the look. He gives me the most like, what are you looks. The other cats just don't do that. Hi, baby. This is sweetheart. I love you so much. I wish you would let me pick you up. I picked him up today. He let me hold him for 5 seconds. Oh, thank you, Julia. Thank you. Wait for it. Oh, thank you. So very happy. Is it rational to believe in talking animals? Well, rational. My animals, I can't even call them animals. They're my children. Look, I'm a witch. I talk to spirits, so talking to animals and trees is not much of a stretch for me personally. My cats talk. Well, this is why I'm mama, because they go, and really, when they really want to get my attention, they go, meow, meow. Like they literally call me. Now, of course, that's probably my interpretation, but what in life isn't? I think it's completely rational and reasonable. They communicate. Let's put it that way. The animals communicate, whether or not they speak. They communicate. Isn't that right? Yeah. Like did you know that when cats do this, that means they like you, that they love you? It's called the slow blink. And that's science. I didn't come up with that. I saw that on a YouTube video. Animal behaviorists or whatever they're called. I just love them. All I know is they understand certain words. Like Sebastian absolutely understands the word kiss. I say, give me a kiss, and he comes and he literally head bonks my lips. Like he knows exactly what that means. Pretty smart. Hi all. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. I've had the weirdest songs going through my head today too. Oh, if you are new to the channel, because I'm doing this 11 p.m. Eastern, and we also do 11 a.m. Eastern-ish, you know, if I'm running late, I'm in the world. But so we wait until 11:11 so that we can make a wish, and then we do a prayer, and then we chat, and then we meditate. That's the pattern. We don't have to stick to it, but it's good to have an outline when doing these things. Otherwise, they get a little squirrely. And there have been plenty of times where we've gone off those rails, skidding off of those rails, and it just turns into ridiculous laughter all night long. And I'm so in love with that when that happens spontaneously. It's not something you can pray for. Yep, 11:11 on the 11th. Yeah. I don't believe everything I see on YouTube, but I do believe when what's his face, the cat whisperer, Justin Galaxy. So that, you know how I am with names. I have name aphasia. He said so. I trust him. He's got nice tats. Tats, T-A-T-S. Clear. And watch my language on YouTube. I'm monetized. I don't know. Oh, by the way, do you like the new? I redid the background there. I redid my hutch. There's no Starsky left. It's just hutch. Just 70s reference. Child of the 70s. Oh, I feel so good on my back. See, now you can see the Morgan, aka my Hera, my Morgan statue that time shares with Hera. So we've got the David, we've got Apollo, we've got the chalice of Dionysus, because there's no room for a Thrisis. We've got Zeus, we've got Hermes, we've got Eros. Yeah, and lots of the jewelry totems up there as well. What are your views on religion? I'm curious now. I go back to the original Latin meaning, which means to link back. Religio, like link, like legation, to link back. And I think usually when you go to the original meanings of words, you find their true meaning. Usually, it's what we've done with it. Over the centuries, everything devolves over the centuries, right? All that rises, falls. So it has become very political. And I don't think that was the original intention. But then again, Taco Bell's not really authentic Mexican food. So we're all open to our own interpretations of things. Yes, that is Zatanna, Z-A-T-A-N-N-A, Zatanna. Zatanna sounds like Z-A-T-A-N-N-A. She's up there at the top. Oh, look, you can sort of see her legs right there. She's right there. Look it up, darling, Zatanna. The sorceress supreme of the DC universe. Now, if you want to talk a religion, DC universe is sort of my religion. Yeah, you can't. Oh, and you can see Wonder. Look, you can see Wonder Woman just sort of like poking her little heads out. Oh, by the way, one of my neighbors met Gal Gadot at a Comic-Con and has a picture of her. So now I'm officially 2 people away from Wonder Woman. That's delusional, but nonetheless, it thrills me. Which also makes me 3 people away from Jason Momoa, but I don't want to meet Jason Momoa. I'm just afraid Lisa Bonet is going to come out and like cut me. I don't know why. Angel heart. That's probably why. Yep. Yep. Looks very nice. Thank you very much. I dusted it and everything. I needed a change. I mean, it's the same stuff, but I just needed to rewrite. Except now, talk about the 2 of Cups. Someone got me this so I could make Moscow mules. I'm not a big drinker. So instead, I have selenite. 2 cups of selenite. 2 selenite generators. Cheers. 2 of Cups. So, and a kitty. Hey, milky face. There you go, boy. Aww. The other 2 are upstairs in the bed waiting for me to come up and snuggle. Yeah. So we've still got 6 minutes to 11:11. So this is what we call schmooze time. Schmooze time. Everybody getting to know each other. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Musical theater post-traumatic stress disorder. Getting to like you, getting to hope you'll like me. Isn't it like ginger beer? My mom has this ginger beer thing, which I've never gotten. Ginger ale, oh, gallons of the stuff. But ginger beer, not my thing. Too gingery. Ginger ale doesn't taste like ginger at all. It's just not my thing. Not my thing. You know what is my thing? I know it's such a girly drink, but strawberry daiquiris. See, that's really what I want to do this summer. Like, I don't want to like travel around the world this summer. No. I want to go to Cherry Grove. I would love to stay in the Pines, and you travel over to Cherry Grove, and there's this restaurant right on the beach. It has a lovely bar that you can sit outside, like bar stools, and they serve you from the inside. And they make a red, white, and blue frozen thing. So it's like pina colada, strawberry daiquiri, and this blue stuff that I don't. What flavor is blue? I don't know, but it's really good, and I want one. Vodka, ginger beer, lime, and simple syrup. Yeah, not my thing. Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm a mystic, so my relationship to the divine is I understand there's a great mystery, and I won't know until I croak. And even then, maybe not. But I've had so many mystical experiences that really defy explanation that I'm still alive, that kind of thing. And I know science can explain away everything. I come from those people. I come from doctors and lawyers and teachers. So, you know, I'm the white sheep of the family. So, you know, it's not that I have, I mean, I'm an eclectic witch. So, you know, to me, there's one source, but infinite lights through which to view that source, which is why I don't care what anybody calls God. I think having wars over the name of the divine is stupid, but God is love at the end of the day for me. And that's it for me. Oh, hey, Mari. Hi, sweetheart. Hello, Karen. Are you vegan or no? No. Great big huge no. I am not vegan. Nope. I am not vegan. Well, because I am sequestering in my domain and I live alone, I've been supporting DoorDash. Arby's delivers. I didn't know there were Arby's on Long Island anymore. I knew there were some in Nassau, but there's one not that far away. So I got a gyro. Their gyros are delicious. I know. Blasphemy. Like a real gyro. I want to get DoorDash to bring me a real authentic gyro, but until then, the Arby's gyros, unbelievably delicious. The Reubens, oh yes. Of course, I would love to go into Manhattan and get a real, you know, deli Reuben, like a real deal Reuben, but not happening anytime soon. And I got an Arby's roast beef, just my mouth is watering. Yeah. No, I've swallowed plenty meat over my lifetime. I mean that too. By the way, yeah, I'm gay. Let's get it out of the way. I'm gay. I would be a deist before being a religious follower. Rock and roll. And that's the beauty about being in the United States, that whole freedom of religion thing, right? But I'm an eclectic. I've studied Christian mysticism quite extensively. I'm both a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles, which is not a religion at all. It's a spiritual psychotherapy, spiritual psychotherapy. I think that's what they call it. A course, 365 days of self-practice. It's really, really good stuff. So, hey, to each their own. And that's what Drawing the Circles channel is. That's why if you look at our logo, it's this hand drawing people together. That's why our tagline, if you will, is bringing people together with spirit, drawing the circle. That we're all one at the end of the day. Ultimately, I am pro-unity. I want to support everybody's everything. Like, I'm not anti this, I'm not anti that, but if you come for me, you better shop on your claws. Tell me, are you mad at all? Them Jimmy Choos are killing you. Size 15 foot and size 10 shoe. Girl, I'm way too blessed to be stressed. Why pay more when you can pay less? $5,000 and now you're mad. I duck walk on your Birkin bag. My ultimate God is RuPaul's Drag Race, apparently. Sorry, just Bob the drag queen you, and I think you should say thank you. You be you, man. Absolutely, rock and roll. Are you pro continuation of human life? Well, not that I have anything to say about it ultimately, but sure, I guess. Why not? Well, whatever works. I mean, you know, there are so many quantum threads and variations of how this can all turn out. So, but we are going to get down to the subject in a little bit. So, though I appreciate this conversation, we're going to be talking about fathering ourselves, and we've got a minute. It's 11:11. Make a wish. It's 11:11. Make a wish. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you. So motivating, and so it is. All right, ready? Let's do our prayer. Yeah, I try not to judge others' beliefs. Don't judge mine. Well, there is this line in the Wiccan Read poetic version. Now, not the Witches Read, it is the Wiccan Read. Live and let live, fairly take and fairly give. I had to memorize that thing when I was in Black Forest Land, the whole thing. Bide the Wiccan law ye must, in perfect love and perfect trust. Live ye must and let to live, fairly take and fairly give. Cast the circle, thrice about to keep unwanted spirits out. To bind the spell well every time, let the spell be spake in rhyme. Soft of eye and light of touch, speak ye little, listen much. I could go on, but I won't. Now, that was a religion. Wicca was a religion. I'm not Wiccan. I am an eclectic witch, left Wicca. I was raised Catholic. I ain't that either. But I think it certainly bears somewhat into our conversation tonight about fathering ourselves. How do we do that, right? I was raised with God the Father. The idea of Goddess Mother I didn't come into contact with until I was a teenager, right? So very, very excited to talk about this. Oh, hi, Dee. Hello, hello, Donna. Hello, Donna. Hello, Donna. Sorry, I have to sit on my feet because they're a little cold. I took a lovely shower after doing my Wim Hof breathing. You know, when you do it laying down and really slow, your whole body tingles. I'm still learning it, still dealing with it. So let's do our opening prayer and see where we go with this, I think, intriguing conversation. I don't know that we're going to come to any great big huge conclusions or answers tonight, but I think it's something, there are questions worth asking. So everyone, please take a moment. Get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in for a couple of minutes. Close your eyes or not, it doesn't matter to me. If you're going to close your eyes, please make sure you're situated, you're comfortable, and you're safe. And let's do this. A couple of nice deep breaths. A couple of more with the hay. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, we surrender this time spent together to you. May it serve your purposes, because we are here only to be truly helpful. We are here to represent you who sent us, so we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent us are directing us. So we are content to go wherever you wish, knowing that you go along with us and that we will be healed. As you teach us to heal, please show us what you would have us do, where you would have us go, what you would have us say, and to whom, to guide this conversation to a little bit more insight, a little bit more understanding of what fathering ourselves means. Because honestly, I know how to mother myself. I'm not exactly sure what fathering myself means. That we may have been doing it all along, but it's such an odd turn of phrase. So we're asking because we know that we don't know. So we have that grace of humility to know that we do not know, but we are willing to be shown. So I also ask that our collective guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, and ancestors gather around us in a force field of light, containing and protecting the work that we do together this evening. That all information and energy that exchanges between us, both in the known and the unknown, the physical and in the non-physical, does so clearly, cleanly, respectfully, and for the well-being of all. Because there are fathers on all levels, just like there are mothers on all levels, symbolically, energetically, as well as literally, archetypally. So help us. We're willing to at least ask the question and to share our take on stuff. Please guide us. Please grace us. Please kiss us and deface us for the well-being of all. Thank you. So mote it be. And so it is. Well, there we go. Yes, witch work. So, the question for our time tonight is, how do we father ourselves? This conversation started as a result, in my mind at least, with this Saturn retrograde. Now, you know, astrology, let me just get this out of the way. Astrology for me is like a weather report. It doesn't determine anything other than what's going on out there, right? Like if it's raining, you bring an umbrella, right? If it's 70 degrees, you don't wear a heavy coat, right? You prepare yourself somewhat. And retrogrades, planets don't actually go backwards, but it's one of those things that has created this it's like a psychological spell we've been under for thousands of years. It's called an egregore, a group mind thing. So whether or not it has any gravitational energetic effect, you got millions of people believing it for thousands of years. That's a psychic force, right? And people don't pay anywhere near as attention to the outer planets retrograding as they do Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde. And guess what? By the way, somebody mentioned it today on my Facebook feed. Yeah. Oh dear. We've got a number of retrogrades. Saturn retrograde today, Venus retrograde Wednesday, Jupiter retrograde Thursday. Now, retrogrades aren't inherently negative. They're what you want to do with it any more than, ready, positive or negative. It's what you do with it, right? It's that thing, that story of judgment that Lao Tzu told about the man with the horse, right? There was a man and a horse. It's like a bad vaudeville joke. But, you know, Saturn is the father, the ringed one, Kronos, as we talked about it this morning, right? The father of Zeus and the Olympians. So, you know, my relationship with my dad, very twin flamey, very tumultuous. He did not want a gay son. And I don't think a lot of parents who had kids in 1968 were looking forward to having a gay son. Oh, I hope I have a gay son. But he was the father that I needed. He was also psychologically imbalanced, which is what drove me to study particularly Jungian psychology. That was my flavor that I love, and go to therapy and do the self-help stuff that made me the healer and spiritual teacher that I am today at almost 52 years old. So yes, my father had a huge influence on my life in that way, but not necessarily in the positive way, like, for example, my mother did. Now, just keep in mind, my mother and father divorced when I was 2 years old because my father was abusive, because my father was, for lack of a better word, crazy. And everybody thinks their dad was crazy. We have a doctor's note. You know, it certainly changed my relationship with men. My father lied a lot. I do believe he was a narcissist, like pretty much in some ways textbook narcissist. As a result from abuse and neglect in his childhood. Who doesn't deal with that? But because his pride wouldn't let him do the kind of necessary psychological work. You get it. Psychology back then is very different than it is now. It was taboo to even talk about, let alone go to. Definitely had an influence. So my relationship with men as a result, I've kind of been looking for healthy men my whole life and not having a whole heck of a lot of luck with that. Do you know what I'm saying? So the idea of mothering myself versus fathering myself is a very different conversation, considering how in this time of challenge, we have such the opportunity to consider loving ourselves spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, self-care, all of that stuff, healing ourselves. So since a planet going retrograde is often about re-looking at, re-examining, we're just bringing up the topic tonight. So I've got my clipboard. I'm not saying I know the answers. I want your feedback, and I have some ideas of how we can do that. Let's see. Lord, that's a lot of retrogrades. Yeah, I was feeling that shift of Saturn today. My parents didn't want a transgender daughter even when I turned 40 before they knew. Yep, gotcha. What do fathers do historically? We all have our actual experiences, but big picture-wise, it's a really good question. And I have something from my new favorite book, Everything is Here to Help You, as well as I have that archetype card back there that I can access as well, that we were talking about this morning. But they learned to accept it somewhat, right? My father died before he could tell me. But I know he loved me, right? It's just he couldn't accept me, and that's a twin flame contract. So a chapter in this book, Everything is Here to Help You, by Matt Kahn, right? Finding the gift in life's greatest challenges. And I have to say, my relationships with men and my relationships with my father has been some of my greatest challenges. My father was a liar, and so I've dated men who lie and lie and lie and lie. I don't know if you see, I'm just making that. Yeah. The chapter, Balancing the Masculine and Feminine. I'm just going to read you a passage on embracing the masculine. The masculine energy represents the determination, focus, and drive of source energy. When balanced with the feminine, it often plays the role of a lover, warrior, or provider. When imbalanced, the lover becomes a liar. The warrior transitions into a worrier, and the provider transforms into a predator. In other words, the archetype goes from light to shadow. When imbalanced, sorry, I read that part. In the absence of a feminine energetic counterpart, the overtly masculine ego is more focused on conquering than connecting, and far more motivated by the threat of loss than acting upon opportunities to be vulnerable, unguarded, faithful, and intimate. While the masculine energy can be nurturing as a reliable provider, when imbalanced, an inability to receive fails to fulfill the masculine or allow their partners, friends, and relatives to connect with their heart. In the most practical sense, the masculine represents goal-oriented focus. It is often described through viewpoints of what? What am I driven to accomplish? What can I do for you? What can you do for me? What is my purpose? While focus, drive, and determination are crucial elements in manifesting the soul into tangible form, when imbalanced by the imprinting of our human conditioning or societal pressures, masculine energy can often be aggressive instead of aware. When this occurs, objectivity is replaced with objectification. Passion turns to anger, and drive erodes into depression. Okay, I think we know that, right? Like, I think instinctively, intuitively, energetically, we can feel that and know that, right? I thought about this somewhat throughout the day. I felt like I was fathering myself by doing the things I didn't necessarily want to do, but that had to be done. Some tough love energy there. So I considered that as well today. So, like, who are our archetypes? Who are the men? We have to start there, right? Because if we're going to talk mothering, we could talk for hours about that, right? And come up with all these perfect examples and how-tos. Like, I hate to say it, but the first father that comes to mind is Andy Griffith from the Andy Griffith Show, and I hated that show as a kid. But, you know, like, he taught his son stuff. So father is teacher, which is interesting. Saturn is also teacher, but teaching by example, like showing you how to do it, not just saying, here's a book, look it up. Showing you practicality, right? So would we agree that? Would we agree with that? I think my fathering comes into me mainly in my work and providing work trustworthiness, right? Also, we can look at the biological aspects. Mother energy is upper chest. Father energy is lower back, so support, right? So that's something that we can do, and we'll put that on there. Well, tough love is a tricky word. We'll put tough love. You see, but let's put determination, because that's what you need when you got to get stuff done that you don't want to get done. You need to be determined to do that, right? We've already looked at provider. You know, that stuff has been so ethical. I mean, we want our mother energy to be ethical too. So that's what I mean. It's like when it comes to fathering ourselves, it can be about supporting ourselves, right? So support is part of that. Okay. Because here's another thing. As an older gay male, I bristle when younger gay men call me daddy. I mean, I know it's a gay term, right? Some of you might be shocked to hear that. Ooh, daddy. I'm like, I'm not paying your bills, right? I'm paying my own bills for the most part, doing the best that I can, right? There's something that rubs me the wrong way with that. And maybe that's because I'm predominantly divine feminine. But there is something there about support in terms of finances too. Like daddy pays for things. Now that might just be the era that I grew up in. I don't think that's healthy, but there is something there about physical support. Protection. Yes, there's definitely a word, to protect. Support. That one came through my mind several times to a T. How about the word stand up for? Like a healthy father energy would stand up for their child, right? And we see that so often now in terms of fathers who have transgender children or gay children or name it, right? Any way that they're different, even if they're not different, like healthy dads tend to like stand up for them. So what's another word for stand up for? Protect is part of it, but to stand up again, I think it's like support is that word. Yeah. Raised male, then transitioning from my true self gave me a different and broader insight into both. Absolutely. I mean, being a gay male absolutely gave you more insight to the feminine energy over time. But, you know, dating men, you know, even gay men can be really, really toxic masculine. Ladies, you may be shocked to hear it, but not all gay men are healthy. Not all gay men are emotionally available. Quelle surprise, yeah? Yeah. Defend. Okay, so defend. We've got protect and defend. Okay. So let's say you're not feeling well, right? Let's say you have a cold or you had a bad day, like physically, emotionally, mentally, like having a bad day. You know how to mother yourself, right? I'm gonna make some hot cocoa, right? I'm gonna wrap myself up in a blanket, maybe a good book, and I'm just gonna rest, right? I'm gonna go yin. What do you do for yourself? How do you father yourself when you're having a bad day? I mean, my father would say, quit complaining, I'll give you something to complain about, right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Whatever you're feeling, push it down, right? You know what I mean? What is the opposite of that? In a way, what we could do, and this is not a determinative conversation we're having. We're like not going to solve this tonight. This is just like scratching at the very, very tip of the iceberg, right? We could go through the shadow side of it. Like my father would say, stop your crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Well, what's the opposite of that? It would be to create a boundary, protect, to say, go ahead, you feel what you got to feel. I was very emotional last week. None of you saw it. Oh, well, maybe some of you saw it, but that was different. And a friend of mine who I love and care about very, very much, unfortunately did the dad thing with me in a very toxic way. And it was through text message, thank God. And it really angered me. And when I told him, I was like, I know that already, that's not helpful. He goes, I'm just trying to help. And then I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks because I told him what he was doing wasn't helpful, but I knew that already. So, you know, tricky thing. I don't think we even really know how to father each other aside from like protect, defend, and support, right? Do something physical, sports. Or what do you need physically? Provide. Like good old hunter-gatherer. Provide. I have another way that we can think about this and go at it, but I'm really kind of looking at fathering would go back to provide, right? Giving your bed. Yeah. Now, let's shift this for a moment. Hold on. An image comes up of a dad picking up the kid who just fell down, brushing their shoulders off, and encouraging that encouragement. Because already determination, support, protect, defend, provide, encouragement, all of these are yang, divine masculine qualities. Let's look at this another way. What do you go to the goddess for? And what do you go to the God for? In fact, it's so odd. I was raised going to God first, right? Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime. No help from my friends. So, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz? And I know some of you get that reference and a lot of you don't. And that's okay. A color TV. Dial in for dollars. It's hoping to find me. I'll wait for delivery each day until 3. Let's see. Nurture, more a physical teaching aspect, emotional nurturing, than emotional nurturing. A father might go after who caused the pain or suffering, right? So that's defend. That is defend. So there's an aspect of justice in there, okay? Because what we're doing is we're coming up with, well, there's sort of verbs and nouns. How do we do them for ourselves, right? The mothering part is just so easy and natural for me that you can feel I'm a little out of my element here. Masculine would be more teaching and training, so we could put that there because I'm an autodidact. I hear they have a cream for that now. Teaching, training, right? Like Opie and Andy. Andy, Opie, right? Bonnie Fife. I'm also an Aunt B channel. It happens spontaneously. Father might be the more physical action. Yeah, we got that, more of the yang. So when we turn to the divine male, and I do mean God, and there's Zeus, you know, all the sky fathers, Zeus, Apollo, Hermes, to an extent. Hermes is a really fun dad. We can feel that there is a love there. So what we're looking at is the loving aspect of the divine masculine within ourselves. And the reason why I bring this up, and I'm going to dance around a subject here, the divine, the toxic father is sort of obvious right now in all sorts of different ways. It's narcissistic. It's self-interested, which is also narcissistic. It's in our face. What are some attributes of, because our noses are being rubbed on it on a daily basis, of the toxic father, the shadow father? Now we know tyrannical. What's the opposite of tyranny? What is the opposite of tyranny? Hello, Scorpion Queen Bee. Hello, you're jumping into a very interesting conversation here. Good luck. Good luck with this one. This is a tricky combo we're having. A good combo, but a tricky one. What? So if the do I have those cards handy? Please be right on top. Yes, right on top. The father archetype from the Caroline Myss archetype deck. The shadow attribute: dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Turn on the news. Dictatorial control. So what is the opposite of dictatorial control? Like, I don't know. What is the opposite of that? It's not go ahead and do whatever you want. That's not healthy either. What is the opposite of dictatorial control? Instead of controlling, guiding. G-U-I-D-I-N-G. See, I take guidance as more intuitive guidance, but I get what you're saying, right? A guide, someone who's been there before. Like, you don't want to go to Hawaii for the first time and hire a guide who flies over for the first time with you, right? You want someone who's been there, who has the wisdom in terms of physical experience. So guiding. So instead of dictatorial control, a guiding influence, which is in the light attribute. Talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Abuse of authority would be right use of authority, but definitely there is a thing. But you know, mothers have authority too, so that's why I'm trying to find aspects that are specific, or at least leaning more towards the father stuff. Because looking at this determination, I gotta say I'm pretty determined, sometimes to my own detriment. Isn't that funny? Detriment and determination, they're very similar structure-wise. I'm gonna put detriment just so I can check out the etymology there, not the entomology. That's the study of bugs. The opposite of tyranny, the appropriate discipline. And there's another word, discipline. See, I didn't like the word discipline because to me it meant getting punished, but that's not what the word means. If you look at the root of the word, it's disciple. Now, everybody's a disciple to something. You can be a disciple to negativity. You can be a disciple to worry. You can be a disciple to the government. You can be a disciple to God. You could be a disciple to anything. So that word of discipline, right? Loving discipline, healthy, appropriate discipline. So I'm going to put discipline down there. See, but you know, that's where that's the mother too, though. Like my mother was a pretty good disciplinarian. Now, remember, I was raised by my stepfather, who was a lawyer. So, you know, very intellectual, a Libra, by the way. So very fair man. So, you know, I'm not saying I was never exposed to healthy father energy, but Sky Father, that's why I call him Zeus, because it was a rational, and you know, this is the law, and this is the way it goes. And, you know, while my dad was pretty much the exact opposite of that, I guess I understand why mom married him both times. One then the other, I mean. Boundaries, yep, boundaries, that's definitely part of protect, right? To create those healthy, safe boundaries. Well, the masculine and the feminine need to work together in balance. Yes. Yeah. Logical, earth, practical. Yep. Yeah. Listening feels the opposite of dictatorial. Now, to me, I tend to think of listening as more yin, but absolutely. What do they call that? Active listening instead of passive listening, where you're really present. Oh, isn't that lovely when someone's actually really present when you're talking with them, right? So they're not thinking of the next thing they're going to say, but they're actually like really actively listening. So listening / active. Because now, good, we're still good on time. I still want to do a little meditation here. How do we internalize these? Like, I think we got enough to begin with here. I pose the question again. How do we father ourselves? How do we father ourselves? So determination, let's start there. How do we determinize ourselves? I can be pretty determined down the wrong road. Yeah. I get that. I get that determination, right? Oh, I lost that page. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Look it up again? It's in here somewhere. Wasn't it right in there? Hold on. Embracing the masculine. The masculine energy represents determination, focus, and drive, right? So focus and drive, which is part of determination too. Focus, drive. So when it comes to fathering ourselves, right, because it says right in here, a talent for creating and supporting life. So for creating focus, creating drive, and creating determination. That's a verb. I can do that. I can create focus. It's a lot of what the breath work, the Wim Hof stuff is teaching me, absolutely, and meditation and all of that stuff. Drive, ambition, healthy ambition, not just blonde ambition, because I'm not a blonde anymore. Support. I can support myself. I do support myself, but not just financially. I can support myself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Right? Look at support and look for support and teaching when needed. Do it. So that's what I think we might have been fathering ourselves all along and not acknowledging it. Because if you look at the father archetype over the past, well, I'm 50 years old. Let's say the past 50 years, it really went from father knows best to, which certainly had its tyrannical, dictatorial aspect to it, to the buffoon father. Everybody Loves Raymond, Dan Connor, Al Bundy, right? And of course I'm going TV shows. I mean, if I named people, you would know who I was talking about necessarily, right? Darth Vader is definitely the dictatorial father, right? And if you didn't know he's Luke's father, where you've been? It's not a spoiler at this point. That's lore. Protect and defend myself. I'm pretty good at it, although I tend to go a little bit more divine feminine with that, as some of you have seen. Start talking Verbus Diablo or Celtic in a low voice and scare the crap out of people. Provide, right? Mr. Brady, Archie Bunker was not a good example. He was the tyrannical father for sure. Be willing to ask for help, look for support, yep, teaching when needed. Encouragement, I like that word, because I don't know that I encourage myself. I also got a lot of that from my mom too. Like I know how to care for, I know how to mother myself so well because my mom was a healthy woman, right? A healthy mom. Encouragement. I didn't get a lot of encouragement from my dad unless I was doing something he wanted me to do, and if I didn't want to do it, it didn't matter how much he encouraged me, right? Teaching, training, that I do for myself. I am autodidact, just means you're self-taught. Guidance, I think I act on my guidance, right? So isn't that the masculine piece of that, right? The feminine is receiving the intuitive guidance, the masculine is acting on that guidance. Otherwise, it's just knowledge. It's not wisdom unless you act on it. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, right? So it is like the feminine, the masculine wisdom, right? Active listening. These are things that I think we all can start considering and kind of maybe realizing we've been doing it all along, but maybe this will help shift some of the masculine energy on the planet from toxic to healthy by doing it within ourselves. And particularly with that inner child work, right? Which is really what this is about on a certain level. Reparenting is what inner child work was, I believe, originally called. I think it might have been, there goes his name, John Bradshaw in Homecoming, that they called it reparenting. And that's why to do it in the mothering way, I'm very good at that, like letting that child cry. And it's like, I love you, honey, I'm crying there with you. Want a cookie? By the way, Arby's makes this amazing salted caramel chocolate chip cookie that comes warm from DoorDash. Unbelievable. That's the mother in me. Manji, eat. But then the father in me would say, well, that's great. Enjoy your cookie. Tomorrow, back to yoga and breathing. And let's do some push-ups, right? Because summer's coming. And though no one's going to be seeing your body, that doesn't mean that you can't take the action in all of that. Cool. Yeah, I would say fixing stuff, but to me, then that's going into sort of gender weird stuff because women are just as apt to fix things as men do. So that's a tricky thing there. That was for humor. Thank you. Okay, remember, sometimes I read these backwards, out of sync. So with the time that we have left, let's do a little meditation, and let's give a shot at connecting with the Divine Father, because the Divine Mother is within us. Why wouldn't it? We are the hidden children of the gods. We inherit their traits, both masculine and feminine, God and goddess, right? We're the children of the gods, hidden. So let's access that. Let's access that and give some of that to the child of our hearts, to the inner child. You want to give it a shot? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Everyone, please get yourself in a position that you can stay in comfortably for like 5 minutes or so. I think doing this for about 5 minutes is a good idea. Let's do this. Breathe. And I do call on the presence of the Divine Mother and the Divine Father to guard and protect as well as nurture and enrich this meditation, this contemplation, this experience of activation of the Father energy within us, that we may father ourselves like never before in the healthiest ways and for the well-being of all. Breathe. I call upon the Divine Father within. And I see within my mind a golden light. The Divine Feminine being represented by silver, present, but receding slightly. So that solar, strong, warm, protective, supportive, teacher, demonstrator, providing, provider, just, boundary setter, now expands within our energy fields to the extent we are ready to receive it as we breathe in and breathe out. And we get a sense of it, a whiff of it. We touch into it. Perhaps it's more familiar than we realize, or maybe for some of us it's brand new. But that feeling strong like a mountain, stable, fortifying. And from that perspective, we turn our inner eye further inward to the child in our hearts. Hey kid, place your hand on your heart. Here are the words that come. Just try them out. I'm here for you. No matter what happens, I've got your back. I want you to try things. I want you to find what works for you. And it's okay that there are things you don't want to do. I trust you. I trust you. I encourage you to find your way. I encourage you to experience this life. I'm here to back you up, and when you fall down, I'll pick you up. I'll even give you a hug if you want one. And there will be times where I will carry you when you are too tired to walk or keep going. And I will do my best to get you what you need. I'm not perfect. I may never be perfect. But teach me how to father you. Because right now, in this moment, there's nothing else I want to do but be a good father to you, a really good mother to you. But you're worthy of the whole package. You're worthy of the best this world has to offer. And when things go sideways, I'll help you balance them out. And when you want to know something, when you want to learn something, I'll get you the information. We'll get the information. And I'll guide you step by step the best that I can. And if it's something that we're both learning for brand new, that's okay too. We'll find our way through. But I will never abandon you. I will never forsake you. I'm sorry if I have before. I didn't know you were in there. But I'm willing. I may not be able, I may not be ready, but I am willing. And I love you. No matter what comes, no matter what goes. I love you. And I want to be with you every step of the way. Until we're all the way, all the way, all the way home. I love you. It's going to be okay, kid. It's going to be okay. You're never alone. Feels good. Breathe. And as you are ready, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, come back into the room. Are you Christian? Nope. Do those look like Christian characters with the word witch behind me? No. Nope. I would have to say no to that one. Yeah, that's witch work. That was something else. Honey, can you see it right behind my head? I'm a witch. I'm a WIT. And not just am I a witch, I'm stunning. Stunning witch. Yeah. Oh, I see we had some messages deleted. Thank you, Julia, for stepping up there. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Mal, thank you for teaching us through learning with us. Honey, we are all in this together. We are all in this together. I think we're really onto something here. I know, me too. That feels, it felt really good to talk about this tonight, and we'll talk about it again. It's not going to be the hot topic for the rest of our conversations here on YouTube forever, but certainly in the Facebook group, we can chat about this. We can go on about this. And if anybody finds any like good, I was exercising my masculine protective. Yes, you are, Julia. Rock and roll. Ooh, watch out. Ooh, ooh. Watch out. Our channel just did some massive healing. Now let's see if this ripples out into the world, right? Because we took some kind of step there. Yes, thank you for moderating tonight, darling. Thank you so very, 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 very much. But you know what? It's getting close to midnight here where I am. Oh, can you see him? There's no way I could move the camera. That wouldn't wake him up. He's all curled up, my son. Maybe I want to wake him up. Kitty cats. I love him so much. I want to thank you all so very, 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 very much for your time, for your energy, for your care, for your participation. And now I've got like some coordinates that I can go into prayer with. I can go into meditation with. I can take my own personal healing a little bit further. Thank you. And again, I'm so honored to be doing this with you all tonight. It's like I say to people all the time, pull up an oar, we're all in the same boat. But tonight's energy, tonight's conversation, tonight's support was just really wonderful. So thank you all so very, very much for your time. And I'm wishing you the very best and the very blessed, as I always do. Say it with me, so you are doubly blessed. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Good night, everybody.